Ready? Good morning. It is still morning. Good morning. I'm Elaine Swafford, the CEO of the Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy and Montessori Elementary at Highland Park. But today, I have the pleasure to be your event chair. Welcome to the 10th annual Raise the Roof event benefiting Habitat for Humanity of Greater Chattanooga. And as I look around the room, I see a lot of familiar faces and friends, partners in the community making a difference for our families and reaching the future for many families who otherwise would not have the support. So thank you. In a few moments, we'll ask Pastor Hathaway to come up and give the invocation. But in the meantime, continue as you're doing and enjoy your meal. At this time, I would like to recognize and acknowledge our elected officials and first responders. Please stand if you're here so we can thank you for your support. Additionally, we would like to thank the City of Chattanooga and all of our important partners for the great work that they're doing in supporting affordable housing in our area. I would also like to recognize the members of the Habitat dedicated current and former board members, the staff of Habitat, and the Raise the Roof Planning Committee. What a great pleasure working with you all. Please stand so that we can salute you. Please stand. Thank you. You know, today we're celebrating decent, affordable, and the significant role, affordable housing, and the significant role that it plays in the children's education and the future successes of them. But before we do that, let's recognize today's sponsors who have generously shown their support for Habitat and its mission. Our presenting sponsors for this year's event, Crown Automotive Group and the Mark Height team. Thank you so, so much. Our foundation sponsors, Derek and Levon Bullard, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Southern Champion Trade, Public Supermarket Charities, and Professional Sign Services. Thank you. Our porch sponsors, Elliott Davis, Trimble Homes Team, Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy, Mortgage Investors Group, Cumberland Title and Guarantee, Foundation Title and Escrow Services, the Double Cola Company, First Horizon, Chambliss, Bonner and Stoffel, Caddick, Tennessee, Valley Oil Company, Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union, United Community Bank, Southern Heritage Bank, Title Guarantee and Trust, Henderson, Hutchison and McCullough, Warren and Griffin, Brewer Media, M&M Productions, and Elders Ace Hardware. What support we have in the room. Let's give everyone a round of applause. That would be impossible to do without all of our sponsorships. You know, since 1986, Habitat has been a leader in the community for providing local families with stability through home ownership. Habitat has helped almost, listen to this, 1,200 people through building of 295 homes and 140 home repairs. That's a huge accomplishment, Habitat. Let's give them a round of applause. And again, we know that this accomplishment would not be reality without everyone in this room. You know, we're a volunteer-driven organization, and it relies heavily on volunteers to keep the housing cost low. You probably can't guess, excuse me, the yearly average number of volunteers is 2,958. Let me let that soak in, 2,958. You know, that's a lot of hammers being swung in and a lot of nails going in by volunteers in this community. So on behalf of Habitat and the countless families whose lives that you've touched, we want to express our sincere and heartfelt gratitude to each of the volunteers. You know, it's really your unwavering support and commitment to the Habitat mission that has allowed us to transform so many lives of families in this community who were in need, while providing them with safe, decent, affordable housing. Let me say that again, affordable housing. And so your contributions are not just financial, however. Let's make sure we understand this. You're also providing hope and stability and promise and a brighter future for these families. And it's through your kindness and your generosity that we can continue to build homes and communities where families can not only live, but families can thrive. Thank you for believing in the vision that we have where everyone has a place to call home. So today, you're going to hear from a family whose lives have changed drastically for the better because they decided to pick up that telephone and call Habitat. Now, let me say, I'm going to change gears for just a minute, but that's why we're here today. But let's change gears because I want to remind everyone to stick around until the end of the event. First of all, to see, I think it's going to come on the screen here, to see who won the Huck and Peck painting and the lamp just for registering early. And I've seen that in the Habitat office, and it's beautiful. So, again, hang around to see who won that. And today's auction, let me remind you, is going to be just a little bit different than in the past. So when you entered the room, I got one myself, you should have received a paddle. Everybody raise your paddle if you got one. Come on, help me participate here. All right, so you should have a paddle. If you have a paddle, then for the auction today, as you bid on items, and we'll explain that in a little bit, you're going to raise that paddle to build another Habitat house. So, for example, you might bid on a roof, and if you do, it's not to take it home with you now. You can't even fit it in your car. It's to build the next Habitat home, right? And so you're going to raise that. And so, again, if you decide that you're going to raise your paddle, then make sure that you do not bid through your text or the QR code. We will charge you at the end, so you don't have to worry about entering that. However, if you plan to bid with the paddle, and you've not already entered that credit card information, now is the appropriate time to do so while you're enjoying your lunch, and you should receive a link in your email. I sure did, so I know it's there. So again, but if you came with a check, there's a bucket in the middle of the table. We'll collect those also, so you can bid in any way you want to, but the bottom line is that you can give in whatever way you want, but you're going to help build another home today before we leave here. So again, thank you so much for being here, and at this time, I'd like to call up Pastor Gary Hathaway, who's been a friend forever, to the stage to do the invocation. Pastor.
Thank you very much. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we give thanks to you for your many blessings. And thank you for this day. Thank you for life. And thank you for the community in which we live. Thank you for all that are here. We pray continued blessings upon them, their family, and their careers. We pray blessings upon Habitat. This great organization, oh God. I believe that every child that's born is born into a family, hopefully should be born into a family, and our prayer is also that every family will have a home. So we, again, thank Habitat for its mission, which is to provide affordable housing for those who need, and we're so grateful for all that are here, and as they support and give. For you said in your own words that it is more blessed to give than to receive. So again, thank you for these provisions. In your name we pray. Amen.
Well, good afternoon again. Please continue to enjoy your meal, and we're going to move into the rest of our program for today. You know, they asked me to tell you just a bit about the rebuilding of CGLA and how that connects to education and housing. And so most of you who know me realize that my greatest passion is providing a meaningful, deserved education to those who are underserved in our community. And like Habitat, I love to help build stability and strength and self-reliance for our families at CGLA and now MEHP. And I had the honor of serving in the past at Chat State, have some friends here today, Howard School, Chat Prep, area superintendent in Hamilton County. And in all of those areas, I've had the opportunity or took the opportunity to focus on the underserved in our community. And when I came to CGLA, it was on the list of schools that the state was planning to close. The stability in the school was lacking. But Dr. Sue Ann Wells and I, thanks Dr. Wells for that opportunity, we set out to change that. And like Habitat, we built a team. You know, we convinced the superintendent to stay open just long enough for us to be able to turn the school around and keep it open. And the girls still come to us each day desperately looking for that education and achieve something for themselves. And like Habitat, we are empowering our community of learners to possess infinite choices but build stability in their lives. And our girls are the women who are changing the deficit narrative. They are making their way to make sure that they have a choice at the seat of their table of their choice. We have over a 90% average of kids going to college, and we're now changing that in the workplace of STEM. As a matter of fact, we have students all across the state. I won't start naming them, but they're majoring in areas from construction engineering to other areas of engineering to some wanting to be a neurosurgeon, right? Construction engineering. Yes, Jens, they're planning to make their way to the seat at your table. And so I recall 10 years ago making that prediction, and now we have those women who are engineers and supervisors, storytellers of their own journey. And what does that have to do with Habitat? Well, as a matter of fact, we have two young ladies, and you're going to hear from the II family later today. One is at Columbia University, and the other one is at Vanderbilt University, both on full rides, making their way to the table. And I'm here today because we're working alongside Habitat in building hope and changing that deficit narrative. And with that in mind, you've heard me say before on stage, we tell our girls, your present circumstance does not determine where you go. It merely determines where you start. And so our goal is not only to change girls, but have them in positions to change the future, not only of themselves, but their families, their community, and their city. And I'll borrow that quote again. We tell our students, if they don't give you a seat at the table, what does Shirley Chisholm say? Bring your own folding chair. And so we make sure that we remind our girls of that. You know, a decent house helped these two young ladies that I just spoke of provide them with the stability to pursue that deserved education, right? That's where education comes in. It helped them to write their own story and write their own novel and tell their own story. If I could sum up my 8 months to now going on 12 years at our school in 2 words, it would be purposeful and intentional. I've said that from day one. And just like Habitat, I came to CGLA as the rector with a passion and the intention to help save a girl, a family, and a community. And like Habitat, we take our responsibility really seriously. We assume roles in some cases as a parent, an aunt, an uncle. I can see Habitat doing some of those things, a big brother, a big sister, just a friend of a student, right? I called it then, and I call it today. What we provide is the home side of school, a decent home, just like Habitat does. Simply put, just being purposeful and impactful so that every student has the capacity to excel. We give them those tools. And guess what? A tool that Habitat gives is a hand up to a decent place for our children and our families to thrive. Today, don't be mistaken now, this isn't a CGLA fundraiser. We're all in with Habitat. But I want to make sure that we make that connection between the importance of housing, affordable housing, and education. You know, children need a secure place to call home. It's easier, as Frederick Douglass said, to build strong children than to repair broken men, and I would say women too. We're alongside Habitat to provide strength, stability, and self-reliance, I love that word, through shelter and affordable housing. Housing that can determine educational and economic outcomes for a child. I want that to sink in, and that's why I'm alongside Habitat today. You know, many social issues stem from a history of unstable and unaffordable and poor quality housing. Some of us can't imagine that, but that is a true statement. Research shows that housing is the first rung on the ladder to economic opportunity for individuals. I'm going to repeat that. That wasn't planned, but I'm going to repeat it anyways. Research shows that housing is the first rung of the ladder to economic opportunity for individuals. And you know, as the gap between rent and income widens, it's critical that professionals outside the housing area, including education, understand that central importance. And so now I'm going to throw some statistics at you. So you might ask your server for some coffee, because I'm going to tell you like I tell the kids at school. Sit up in your chair and pay attention. I'm here because it's about the children from my perspective. So here we go. Children who live in an overcrowded household at any time before the age of 18 are less likely to graduate from high school. Now, I grew up in a house with 3 bedrooms, 7 children, 6 in the house at any time, but it wasn't overcrowded, I don't think. It was a house that my dad built, right? And it had a tin roof. But the important thing going on inside that poor home was that there was a value for education instilled inside that poor home as well. And so you have to understand how important affordable, and it was affordable and it was stable, right? And that's what we're asking for your help with today. The other statistic, living in poor quality housing and disadvantaged neighborhoods, and I witnessed this, is associated with lower kindergarten scores, readiness scores. Housing and financial instability often lead children to moving to poorer schools. Is it fair? No, but that happens. Near a high-scoring public school, housing costs 2.4 times as much, or roughly $11,000 more a year, and probably more, as housing near a low-scoring public school. Stable housing provides the foundation for a consistent and predictable daily routine. I can't tell you how important that is. Children living in stable homes are more likely to attend school regularly, arrive on time. My principal's here, ask her about that. Engage in homework even. Wow. And, of course, those extracurricular activities. And I can attest to that on a daily basis myself, both personally in some ways and professionally. And so consistency in their daily lives is important for conducive learning environment, And it enables them to concentrate better and form healthy study habits. And if you don't understand that, it happens daily that kids aren't in a routine if they don't have a stable home to go home to. And so if they do, that certainly leads to a long-term success for them. And so most of the people applying for a Habitat home ownership program, they have children. And when we ask them in their initial interview, why do you want to buy a home? They've all said the same thing: stability to create a better future for their children, to send them to school each day feeling secure. You're getting that connection between housing and education, and a good night's rest, ready to learn. Let me talk for a minute about the real connection with Habitat, specifically a Habitat homeowner's children. We had the pleasure and the opportunity to provide that deserved, advantaged education that I spoke of earlier to Abidjan and Anyang, to us known as Abby and Annie. This afforded me the opportunity, of course, to meet Mr. and Mrs. I, who's in the house today, and you're going to hear from them a little bit later. But their daughters arrived at CGLA in the 6th grade, and they thrived. They both were high achievers, and they became advocates for themselves. And I recall Annie coming to me one day and saying, "Hey, Dr. Swafford, I need a higher level math class." And of course, we made sure she was accommodated. As it turns out, both young ladies who had that, picked up that, had that Habitat home, both young ladies ended up being valedictorians of their class. They both received full rides to college, and they both, again, had that decent, affordable, stable home just because the parent picked up the phone and decided to call who? Habitat. Wow. And so, again, I can tell you that as I go visit the IIs at times, on their bookshelf each time I visit is that ACT book sitting there. Those girls were pushed, and they pushed themselves, and that's why they got full rides to college. And so the homeowners that Habitat partners with, they all have stories to tell. And becoming a homeowner is just a small part of that story, but an important part. And so at this time, I'd like to turn over to the Habitat homeowner, Mr. II, as they share that determination of creating stability for their family. Thank you.
Hello, I am Kuala Yai.
I am Adura Yai.
I am from Africa originally, but the country is South Sudan. When I left my country only 2 of us, I and my wife. And we were forced out by the war. So I went to Nigeria. And in Nigeria, that's where I settled there as a refugee. And that's where my 2 kids, the oldest one and the second one, were born in Nigeria as a refugee. And from Nigeria, that's why I came to America. So America see that there's a need that I should be protected. Even if I left Sudan and I am a refugee in somewhere, and then the same government is still targeting me. So it is better that I should be taken away for protection. That's how I was brought to America. By that time, those 2 girls were born. The third one was born here in America, but the 2 little ones, the oldest one was 4 years, and the second one was 2 years. And Homeland Security is the one to distribute refugees. I was told that you are coming to America, going to Tennessee, a city called Chattanooga. That's how I was brought. I did not even heard about Chattanooga before. So it was a surprise to me.
My name is Abojan Hayai. I'm currently attending Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. So I moved to the US at a very young age. I was still 5, going on 6 years old. And when I think back to that time, the first thing that comes to mind is just how strange yet exciting everything felt. I was in a completely new environment that was both socially and culturally different from what I had grown up in. It was very cool. My parents are 2 of the hardest working and most dedicated people I know. From a young age, my parents stressed the importance of working hard to achieve your goals, and they always made sure to reinforce that by leading with example. My father always made sure to work to make sure we always had things we needed, and really make sure that we could be able to pursue our own hobbies and our own goals. My mom was also so heavily involved in my activities, in my extracurriculars growing up. She was always there to drive us to things. She was always there to provide a shoulder of support whenever I needed it. Being able to be in a space that had a sense of permanence, more so than living in an apartment like we had done previously, helped me understand that this was a space that was mine and I could alter to my needs. And over time, that really grew to serve as a form of support for myself. Whenever I had a long day, a hard day, and I just really wanted to go home and relax in a quiet space, I knew I would have my bedroom right there waiting for me. There's just so many countless memories throughout the entire house, but my bedroom especially, that I don't think I would have been able to have in a less permanent space. And also, something that I really appreciate about that is it's almost like it was an investment for my school and my future.
My name is Anyang Ayay. I am currently an undergraduate senior at Columbia University in the city of New York. Having a home impacted my childhood a lot because it provided a sense of stability in an otherwise unstable living condition that we were in previously. I think it gave me a sense of comfort, and it truly made the idea of home more concrete for my siblings and I, and remembering and reminiscing about the things we've been through. And knowing that at the end of the day, no matter what changes happen, we will always have each other. And the home was kind of the place that facilitated that understanding. I remember matriculating into CGLA, and during the first few weeks, the new class of sixth graders fill out or like sign a banner that says, "We commit to graduate." And I remember thinking, what comes after graduation? And CGLA really honed in the idea of college comes after graduation. Your journey does not end at CGLA. Your journey carries you a lot further than that.
My wife made a little portion behind my house to make garden. And that little garden, she produced there, we cannot finish it. What we do, we give our own community. We share it to them. My children feel at home, and when they come back, when they were in school, from middle school and high school, when they come back, they practice as they want. Anywhere at the corner, in the fence, whatever they want to do, they are free to do whatever. And that's what makes them to be where they are now. So my house, the house that I get from Habitat, is everything.
I've learned my lesson that there's a slight height difference between me and most speakers before me, so I've finally learned to adjust the microphone, Ken. What an incredible story. This is a story that is not unique, actually, to Habitat or CGLA. The women that we work with at Habitat often move on from CGLA. We've actually partnered with numerous students there, and in the room today, and this isn't scripted, I would like to point out that we have a number of volunteers, girls from CGLA over there right by the camera stand. If you all would just stand for a moment, I'd like to say thank you. And to point out something that our lovely chair said, I would welcome them anytime at our table at Habitat. These are future leaders that will be like the II family. These are future leaders that will be incredible additions to our community, and they are partners in the work that we do to make Chattanooga a better place. If we think about their story, though, the II story, the one that we just saw, we have attempts on their lives in refugee camps in Nigeria. We have a move to Tennessee to, as he said, a place he had never even heard about. We have the partnership with Habitat to become Habitat homeowners. We have the education they received at CGLA. And now we have two young women who are at incredible schools on full rides, making their own path forward. And I must say, it takes a village, but this is something that took an entire community. It took all of Chattanooga to come together, if you think about that story. From the relocation, to the education, to the partnership with us. This is something that everyone here in our city had a hand in, and it's something that we are incredibly grateful for. As you know, we are literally here to raise the roof for future families, though, for future builds, for partnerships with families like the IIs, to change Chattanooga for the better. And to do that, we're gonna need you to go ahead and take out your phones. Yes, a speaker at an event is actually asking you to take out your phone and to use it while speaking. If you have not already, please go ahead and register for the auction that's coming up. It will be a paddle raise, as we mentioned, and you can find a link if you have your phone number on file that was either texted to you, or your email if it was on file, it was sent to you, or you can scan the QR code that's at your tables on your programs or on the bucket right in front of you. Your gift today will buy a bathroom for a future homeowner, a roof to shelter a family, maybe even a front door to their new life, or a window so that you can see inside. So please take a moment and enter your information. Before we get to the auction part, however, I do have some exciting news to share. First, I am thrilled to announce that in just 2 days, Habitat for Humanity of Greater Chattanooga will break ground on our 300th home build here in the city of Chattanooga. This particular build will be in partnership with the City of Chattanooga and Publix, and we have representatives from Publix here today as well, and I'd like to thank you all for that partnership. This will mean 300 families like the IIs whose future will forever be changed. 300 stories of ending generational poverty, transforming lives, preserving or creating wealth, opening doors to new opportunity. I'd like to also take a moment again to thank our staff, our board, our volunteers, partners, and funders. And most of all, I'd like to thank the families that we partner with, families like the IIs, and we have some families here today as well who are helping. Without you, we could not begin to accomplish anything. So to the families we partner with, thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey. The work we do here at Habitat creates shelter. It literally serves as an upstream solution to homelessness. But it's much more than that. Our work doesn't just change lives for a moment, doesn't just put someone in a house for a moment. It changes lives for generations. A child with the security of a safe place to sleep, dining room table to sit at, that child can dream about tomorrow. A parent with stability, with knowing that they own their own home, that they're building wealth and equity through home ownership, that parent can plan for their child's education, perhaps even plan for their own career growth. They will not have to be consumed with the right now. And when a community is filled with homeowners, the neighborhoods that they live in thrive with positivity and hope for a better tomorrow. So think about that for a moment. 300 families, 300 homeowners, many of those families with a background in homelessness, refugee status, or even simply living in subsidized rental housing. 300 homes with children like the IIs who are now crafting their own paths and choosing their own tables. 300 important steps toward a better Chattanooga and world. And today, as we step toward our next 300 homes, we have a plan to secure 30 lots and raise $300,000. Now don't worry, I'm not gonna hold you hostage here until both goals are met, unless a few of you brought the titles to your properties. I don't see any paddles going up. Or maybe some others brought some big checks. I'm not gonna hold you hostage here, but I do think we actually might reach those goals anyway. In fact, today I am excited to announce that we're halfway to both goals already. Thanks to Dr. Ruth Liu and her husband CY, we are starting out with acreage on Shallowford Road, in an area that has never had affordable housing in Chattanooga before, where we will plan to build at least 15 homes for future partner families. And thanks to our presenting sponsors, the Mark Height team and Crown Automotive, as well as all of our sponsors, our table hosts, and our donors, this event has already raised over $100,000 in sponsorship funds. But wait, as they say in TV commercials, there is more. Today, it is my great honor to announce that we have a donor who has pledged $50,000 to challenge others to step up their game in supporting the cause of affordable housing in Chattanooga, to create a world where everyone has a decent place to live. And who better to explain that challenge than the donor herself? Please give a warm welcome to Donna Williams. Donna, will you please come up on stage?
Y'all, I have some even better news for you. I was like, I wonder who the guest speaker is at the event. And I just looked at the program, and apparently it's me. So You all don't have to worry, like, oh, they say they got a guest speaker, and then they got all stuff. It's me, and I will not be long, I promise you. Some of you know that I, at one point in my journey, was the executive director of Habitat, and I've been affiliated with Habitat since I was in Atlanta and moved back home 20-something years ago, and I love Habitat. I want to thank the members of the board, all the volunteers, the families, and the staff for all that you do for Habitat. And I can't emphasize it enough how fortunate we are to have this guy as the leader of Habitat. He's amazing. Yeah. And when you have an opportunity, please get him to tell you his story, his own personal story about the need for affordable housing in his life. So, because I promised to be brief, I will. First of all, I want to thank my mom. She's sitting here at one of my amen tables. Stand up, Mama. She's waving. She don't want to stand up. Okay. So, she does not want to stand up, and I am going to read what I have to say, otherwise I will start crying, okay? Is the photo behind me? Where's my, okay. Do y'all see? That's the picture of me and two of my siblings. I have a fourth sibling, but she wasn't in that picture yet. I'll tell you a little bit more about her. Those are two of my three best friends. My parents gave me three of my best friends, and I'm grateful for that. In this picture, we were at College Hill Courts. I didn't know it was called College Hill Courts until I was an adult. And for those of you who don't know what College Hill Courts is, that's the West Side. We just refer to it as the West Side. I'm going to ask any of you who are working, any of you who are seated, if you have family history in Piney Woods, Alton Park, or the West Side, will you stand up for us, please? All right, okay, great, okay. All right, there you go, okay. So when we lived in the West Side, my grandmother lived in the West Side, and my great-grandmother lived in the West Side. But we loved it. It was a place of community. It was safe. You could walk in either direction to go see your friends, and in our case, family members. But my parents knew, as did most of the folks who lived in the West Side at that time, and folks who live in the West Side now, our community was isolated and in many ways restricted, and it was by design. And y'all don't have time for me to tell y'all about that, okay? Some of that has changed, but some of it hasn't changed. And part of it is a little bit what Jens talked about. I didn't know he was going to mention this. People being able to live where they want to live to thrive. But we have so many folks in this community who misunderstand affordable housing, and all they know about it is they don't want it near them, okay? Many of those people are themselves eligible, income-wise, for affordable housing. So they think they know what people in need of affordable housing look like and how people in need of affordable housing behave, but they themselves are eligible for affordable housing. Pastor Hathaway can attest to this. When we were working to get a 63-unit income-restricted senior housing development near his church on land that the church owns, we had people threatening us. I'm talking with letting us know that they had a gun in their car because we were and still are thriving to provide housing for seniors, okay? So one of the cool things about having been raised by this lady and my dad's deceased, but his name was John W. Williams. A lot of people just knew him as J-Dub. That was J-W. And my mom, her name's Carolyn Sims, but most people know her as Cat. So my mother and father knew that the West Side was a stop on their way to their American dream to own a home. And that's what they did. So That's my sister Ronnie, my brother J-Dub, and then my sister Lisa, my younger sister. She wasn't in that picture because she was too little. Raise your hand. She's right there. The four of us have become homeowners many times over because of being in a safe environment and an encouraging environment. And one of the things about my sister Lisa is, I say this all the time, she's the kindest, smartest person I've worked with. And I've worked with a lot of people. She's the kindest, smartest person I know, and I've worked with a lot of people. If you go to Amazon and Google One Shot, she's making a face at me. My sister, Lisa, is featured on the Amazon show One Shot because of the many, many people she's taken into her home who had nowhere to go. One of those people happens to be a young man named Samto, and Samto is also Nigerian. But having a place that you can call your own does all of the things that Dr. Swafford mentioned, all of those, but it also gives you an opportunity to be helpful to other people. So it's my honor to make a $50,000 donation in honor of my mother's 80th birthday in February, and I ask any and all of you who would like to join us to exceed that, but beyond what Jens has already said, and thank you for this opportunity to be here.
I don't actually think Donna read anything from her script. I think she just ad-libbed that entire thing. Now, I do want to let you know that we did actually ask her to speak. She knew in advance. I didn't just catch her as she was coming in through the atrium and say, hey, would you come up on stage with me for a minute? But Donna, thank you. That's an incredible gift, an incredible honor of your mother, an incredible testament to what it is that you've done for the city, for the raising that your folks did for you, and also for your lens and perspective on how everyone, regardless of their humble background, regardless of where they've come from, they can help the next person. And sometimes it's at different levels. It's not everyone that will be able to give $50,000. But I have some pretty exciting news for you. Because of your story and because of what you've done, we have another donor, an anonymous donor this time, however, who has stepped up and will be matching your match dollar for dollar. The inspirational story that you shared and that you gave me permission to share led them to consider the impact that you could have here today. And so today, every dollar raised in the room will be matched twice. So it'll triple the impact of a single gift. If we get to $50,000 today, we will literally raise the roof and build an entire house. So, again, that'll get us almost to our goal of $300,000 for the 300th home. It's now time for that auction. At this point, I'd like to ask Ken and Mark, our presenting sponsors, to come up here and get it kicked off. I'd also like to ask the volunteers from CGLA to brighten the lights so we can actually see your paddles when they get raised. You will notice them walking around. They are going to be actually doing spotting to make sure that you can be seen as the auction gets kicked off. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let's bring up the lights. So, can you hear me? My mic.
Hello? No. Yeah.
Okay. There we are, Ken. I was just a little too rambunctious there. I was so excited. Ken and I are really excited to work together. We are partners on the board of directors at Habitat for Humanity, and obviously his company, Crown, is an example of a massive national company that is investing locally, and so I'm proud to call him a partner, and I'm proud to be here with him today. And we're excited because this is the time that all of you guys get to help us invest in affordable, decent housing.
Absolutely. And you know how to eat an elephant, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, okay?
Ba-dum-bum. Okay. So we just got off script.
Sorry about that.
As long as you can laugh at it, you can live through it. But here is the important piece. We have encouraged you a couple of different times to pick up your paddle because we're doing a non-traditional auction. You're not taking anything home. As Dr. Swafford said, that roof example we've got over here is not going to fit in anybody's car. But Ken has done some numbers. And Ken, what does a roof actually cost on a new construction house?
It's the average is $18,000. So I know the bids say $5,000, but it also says roofs at $5,000. So we need to raise $18,000 right now to put a roof on a house.
Now, it's very important that you understand if you haven't entered your credit card in already on your profile as we were coming in, that's okay. You can still bid, you can still donate. We've got two different options for you. In the back right table, as you're leaving, we've got Brant and Lisa set up, and so they can just real quickly after the auction take your information. Or if you'd rather, if you're a text-to-give techie like some of my team members, so not me, we do have on the back of the program, you could go ahead and scan your barcode there and make your gift and plan it from that perspective. But most importantly, we have designed this auction with a pledge level for everyone's budget. None is too large and none is too small because with a room with 400 people, we know we can raise this money, Ken.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what we intend to do. Before we leave out of here, our goal is to have $50,000 in the coffer. And as I mentioned earlier, if you put $50,000 in, we get a match twice, then we'll have $150,000.
So we've got a big goal to raise today. And we're going to start, though, with some of you already came knowing what they wanted to do today.
Absolutely. So some people already knew what they're going to do. There were pledges, and I don't know how it's calculated, but however, if you have a pledge or check that you've already promised to give today or pledged to give, please raise your hand, and then one of our team members will come around and collect that from you. Has anybody got any pledges?
Yeah, if you've already filled out a pledge card and you knew what you were going to do before we got started, just raise those up. There's one right here. We've got spotters coming, and we got, are my CGLA girls doing this, or are my other guys? Raise them up in the air, right? Patrick, I've got one right here. Yep.
Cool.
There.
Oh, there's one on the back there.
Okay. So that's a good start. So the reason we're collecting these up first is because Hannah's going to go ahead and start tabulating what we've got going. But Ken, this is called Raise the Roof.
Raise the roof.
And so you think we should start with the roof?
We should start with the roof. And one, as I mentioned, I have done several auctions in my lifetime, and this one's very unique as you're not taking anything home with you. But what we're doing is giving a hand up for somebody to come in and get a house. So this is not a charity. It's a hand up for somebody to get a house. And y'all are, I hope y'all are as fortunate as I am to be able to participate in it. So let's start it. Let's get, who wants to bid $5,000 for a roof? Who's got a $5,000 bid for a roof? Anybody got a $5,000 bid? Going once, going a $5,000 bid? Anybody got a $5,000 bid? Raise your hand. Hold on, raise your paddles up. Hold on, I want to make sure your arms work. Put your paddles in the air. Wait, come on, put your paddles in the air. No, you're not bidding. I just want to see if you got a paddle. Come on, put your paddle in the air. I mean, that's how it works right there. You wave right there, and that's when you make a bid. So we need $5,000 for a roof. Can anybody put $5,000 up for a roof?
I've got $5,000.
Oh, we got a $5,000 bid right there for a roof. $5,000. All right. Do we have another $5,000 bid for a roof? Anybody $5,000? Another $5,000 bid? Okay, how about $4,000? Anybody got a $4,000 bid for a roof? $4,000 for a roof. Now we need $18,000. We got $5,000, so we need $13,000.
Oh my gosh,
$5,000 more right there. Bless you. Okay, so that's $10,000. We need $8,000 more for a roof. Anybody? $8,000 for a roof. $8,000 for a roof. $4,000. $4,000. $3,000. All right, I'll put in $2,000. Here we go, right here. I'll put $2,000 in right here.
Hold on, brother.
Hold on.
2,500's the next level.
2,500's the next level?
I got to keep him honest, folks. You know, he's in sales just like I am.
Yep.
And so why don't you kick us off with windows? Because we've got two bidders for roofs.
Okay, well, once again, we're going to kick off the windows. And what do y'all think I've done? I've done the math, all right? So we need, the typical house has 8 windows. We need $3,200 for windows. And I forgot to mention, if you bid $500, you get a free oil change from yours truly here at Crown, okay? So, I was going to limit it at 20, but I've got 40 certificates. So if you bid $500, you get an oil change. Even in a diesel. Diesels are like $200. So even if you have a diesel, you can come and get an oil change at Crown, okay? So let's do it. Let's do it. Who can put, the next level is
$2,500.
$2,500. We need $2,500. Who gets $2,500? Anybody $2,500?
Who can help us?
Oh, we got one right
there
over
we
here.
go.
Good.
What is that
Lord
number?
of mercy. Thank you so much. $2,500. Somebody grab this lady's money right here. All right. So $2,500. Anybody got any more? So how much do what I said we needed? We needed $30. All we need is $700 more. So how about anybody got $500 that can contribute for the 700? 500, 500.
Oh,
all right.
wait,
309, 309, and be sure to come get a certificate from me before we leave. Okay. All right.
No, wait, what happened to 2,500? We went from 25 to 500, and that's a level.
No, we're going to go straight back up.
Okay.
We're off script here a little bit. But
because Jamie's my guest, you know, and so I'm pleased to see. So take me back. We had, how many did we bid for?
Well, we haven't done plumbing yet, because plumbing's very expensive.
Plumbing?
Plumbing, toilets.
Well, you know, Ken, if you got to laugh at it.
Oh, well, where are you going?
You know,
oh, my.
I've always considered myself king of real estate. Not really.
Oh, Lord. What is Mark doing?
But every king has to have a throne.
We got to have plumbing.
I need some help with plumbing, people.
So,
I tell you what, I'll kick in. What level are we at?
Well, we're at the plumbing, I think, was, what was the plumbing?
$1,000.
It's $1,000. But guess what I've done? I've done the math, okay? So a house costs $8,000 for plumbing, and guess what Mark's sitting on is $800. It takes $800 for, so right now, we need $8,800 for plumbing.
I'll kick 1,000 in.
All right, we got 1,000 right here, 1,000. We got 2,000 right here. Got 1,000, 1,000. Oh, there's somebody over here.
Do we see another
Jens has got 1,000. How much have we got? 4,000. We
There's
got one
another
right
one.
here, one right there. Okay, 5,000 is 5,000. Anybody else got to put? Come on, kick in some cash. I know y'all got it. Y'all got the money. You know, y'all wouldn't be sitting in here if y'all didn't have the money. So just, come on, I just want to see it.
Do it. Oh,
Y'all are helping people. I'm gonna walk out there in the crowd in a minute. Okay.
Brother, if I can sit on a toilet in front of 400 people, surely.
Oh,
There's
there we
another
go.
1,000.
All right.
My embarrassment and humiliation is complete.
So how much did we just raise right there? Did we raise $6,000, something like that? Well, they'll tell me, because we got a thermometer that we're filling up right now, and they'll tell us periodically as we go.
But there were 6 at $1,000.
1,000, right?
So that means we just raised with the matches with Donna and our anonymous $18,000 towards a new house.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, you look good on that toilet. I mean, you didn't look. You looked good on that toilet. I like that.
You know, Robin Derryberry does our marketing and our public relations. I hope this doesn't qualify as crisis communication, Robin. Okay. Well, I'll do anything to raise money to support affordable, decent housing. And so, Ken, let's go to that $500 level.
But one more thing. Any donation you make right now is 100% tax deductible. Okay, 100% tax deductible. So not only you can save a little money on your taxes, but you're also giving somebody a hand up with a house. So the next level we have, did we do windows? We did windows, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next thing we have to have is you can't get in the house without what?
Doors.
Okay, we need doors, and guess what I've done? I've done the math, okay? So every house has between 15 and 20 doors. So they run around $8,200. So we need $8,200 for doors. And what is the bid on a door? A bid is $500. Did y'all take my last bid? Did y'all take my bid on the 2,000 one up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they took that. Okay, cool. All right, so well, anyway, so the bid started at $500. Who can get $500 for some doors?
Oh,
Robin Derryberry over here, right over here. I can't see that far away, but I think it's 311. 500. We got one more 500. We got one more 500. 590. 590.
413.
Okay.
Is that 413, the pretty blonde lady? 473, thank you. Who else? $500. Who can help us?
All right. Oh, right over here, $500. Thank you so much, ma'am.
227.
There, we got 500 more right here. 500 more right here.
536.
Awesome, awesome. It's going so fast I can't calculate it, but I'm so proud of you guys for stepping up there. I certainly
I'm seeing
am.
some fingers pointing. Was there
Anybody with 500?
323.
323. Okay. You know, how many people we have in the room? If everybody gave $100, well, can I sign y'all up for everybody in the room? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, we've got, and we appreciate everybody being patient with us because Ken and I are not the springest chickens, you know, and so
we're shy.
Being able to see, yes, we're shy. Being able to see these numbers from the back of the room, but we've got our CGLA girls right up here, Dr. Swafford. They have got perfect handwriting, so we know they are capturing. But here's what I've got for you next. I feel like those ladies on The Price is Right. Who remembers The Price is Right? Right.
And now Mark's got a sink. We're giving away we're even selling a sink.
Who can help me fill up a sink for $250? Number 1,
250.
2, 3.
250 for a sink. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, now they're gumming up.
144. Thank you very much.
254.
I've got a
Over
plastic
here.
card
We got one over here, guys. One over here too. Keep those paddles up. Keep them up.
Thank you.
Keep the paddles
we
up.
got more over here.
More over here. How much do we need for the
228.
1,400. Oh, I ain't gonna say.
319.
All right. And one person back here in the back in the white
5,
shirt.
5,
Oh, we got one.
3.
All right.
You're filling up.
Anybody else? 250. Oh, right over here, 324. Congratulations for having a hand up. We're selling love today. That's what we're selling. We're auctioning off love.
Okay, you know
250 more,
what?
250.
Anybody else at 250?
Oh, we got one more right here,
Thank
580.
you, 580. Thank you. Oh.
All right.
Oh, way in the back. Lord, I'm
See,
blind.
I know y'all. I see some of y'all got your paddles, but you just don't want to raise your hand yet.
What is it?
It ain't gonna hurt.
372.
372. 372. Okay, one more
one
right
more.
here.
482.
Awesome.
Awesome.
482. That lady in the brown just bid. She stood up. No, I'm just kidding. She just bid.
I have one promise for you.
Oh.
I'm keeping my day job. But I'm having fun, and I hope you are too. Ken, you know what the key is to building an affordable, decent home?
Well, nails.
100%, brother.
Nails. We got to have nails. And you know, I looked into it, and guess what I've done?
He's done the math.
I've done the math, all right? Each house takes about 20,000 nails, okay? So we need to raise, I think, $3,000 for nails, and the bid starts at $100 for nails, okay? So that, I think that's it's a box of nails. But anyway, we can say a box of nails, but we're starting at $100 for the nails, and we need to raise $3,000 for nails.
Hold
So
on.
who's it?
Hold on. I've got an update.
Oh.
From HHM. No, not really. You know, when they do those award shows, there's always an accountant that comes out, you know. Can you tell I watch too much late night TV? Ken, so far, we have had pledged $34,000.
Oh my. And you know, how much did we get in pledges? Does that include our pledges?
That includes the pledges from the beginning.
Okay.
So between the paddle raise and the pledges, and I just turned another one in, we're at $34,000. So you do that math, we're just over $100,000 with our generous match from Donna and our challenge match. So let's wrap this up. We've got a price point for absolutely everyone and every budget. So who can help us out with a box of nails at $100?
$100 for a box of nails. All right. Well, keep them up. Oh, here we go. So, here we go. Yes, ma'am.
388.
Hold on, leave it. Did you get this lady right here? Keep it up till they grab you.
109 and 388. Who else have I got? 571. Who else can help me with a box of nails for $100? Oh, we've got some over here. Blake, call them out.
Oh, some over here in the way back. Here, we got a gentleman right here, too. 377 and 371. I've got good vision. 371. Gotcha.
Oh, look at you. Good to see you.
437.
437.
And then we got a young lady. Did we get the young lady in the black over there? Oh, we got 2 more over here. 2 more. 3 more. Bless y'all's heart.
593-226-302. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Now listen, there's nothing like a half-off sale, okay? So we're going to do a half-off sale for nails. So now it's down to $50 for a box of nails. $50 for, now, how many people drink Starbucks coffee? Raise your hand. Okay. Raise your hand if you drink Starbucks. Come on. There's got to be people out there that drink Starbucks, okay?
No, they all drink at local coffee shops.
Oh, the local coffee?
None of those chains.
All right, well,
local
$8 for a cup of coffee. All you got to do is just do away with your coffee for 5 days, and you can buy a box of nails. And you can stop by my house. I'll give you a Keurig, if you want to do that, right? Okay? I'll even share my address. So, $50 for a box of nails. Who's got $50 for a box of nails?
All the way in the back.
Right over here. $50. Who else has got $50? There you go. $50 right over here. I can't read it. $192 for a box of nails.
We got a coupon from Lowe's.
All we're doing is
50%
providing love. We're auctioning off love.
$477.
$477.
That was my cue to get out of the audience.
$50 for a box of nails. Anybody else? Anybody else? Where are we at, Mark?
Well, we're going to let, who's next on the program? We got off script. We're like 3 pages behind over here.
I know.
I've had fun, though. What about you?
I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you have, too.
It looks like next up is Dr. Swafford to bring us on, so I'll gather our notes and our pads, and we're going to wrap this up. Would you all give yourselves a hand? Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. And don't forget the coupon for the oil change for the $500, okay? So come grab it. Thank you very much.
Well, Robin and I decided that we're going to put these guys on a road gig, but thank you so much. That was fun. We raised dollars, and as we bring this great event to a close, I want to first of all tell you that we're filled with gratitude and appreciation for everybody in the room. As I said, I feel like we were preaching to the choir earlier, but your commitment has really illuminated our path and ignited our way forward. And so on behalf of the entire team at Habitat, I want to extend our deepest thanks to each and every one of you for today and coming to our event. And we've witnessed really what compassion and the power of unity can do for a community. And so together, we're well on our way of raising the roof, another roof for our local family. And that impact is seen by your generosity. So thank you so much. Thank you again, the II family, for sharing your story. But beyond your dollars and cents, thank you for just believing in our mission, right? You believe in what we do and your willingness to stand beside us and doing what really matters for families in our area. And so as we close this chapter today, again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Together, we're making a difference, and we're making that profound impact. And so we'll continue to change lives. So before we let you go back to your offices, a little bit early today, yep, it's 12:39, let's see where we are on meeting that goal. So can we show that thermometer? So there we are. And I don't know if that's, Ken, do the math. I don't know if we tripled or not. I'm not a mathematician, so Ken, you can do the math. And so, $100 and what? $104,000. Great to have a mathematician in the room. So it's just going to keep adding up. And so let's go ahead now and see, as we promised earlier, who won the incredible painting and that lamp from Huck and Peck. If we can put that up, please. Congratulations, Teresa Groves. Again, they're already at the Habitat location. You can just go by on Main Street and pick those gifts up. Thank you so much. So let's keep this momentum going. We want you to talk to your friends, your family, your coworkers, and let them know how important, as Donna said, how important housing is for everyone. And she said affordable housing. And so maybe they too will be touched to help us build a home and raise a roof. That's what we're going to do. Thank you, everyone, for attending.